Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss a new topic, that is Pathya Kalpana. In Ayurveda, many people are reluctant to take Ayurvedic medicines due to the fear of Pathya. They consider it is in a opposite sense. That is, they consider Pathya as the restrictions that we are giving to or advising to the patient while taking Ayurvedic medicines. But actually, Pathya means that which is wholesome to our body. That is, the food or viharas, anything that is wholesome to our body is Pathya, and the opposite is Apatya. So restrictions, those restrictions and all those things come under Apatya. So what do you mean by Pathya Kalpana? Pathya Kalpana means the preparations of, that is the Kalpana, Kalpanam Samskaranam idi. So here we are the processing the food materials. So we have studied many Aushadha Kalpanas. Now we are dealing with the Ahara Kalpanas, that is Pathya Kalpana. So let's move on to the introduction. That is, Patyakalpana, we can tell it as Ayurvedic dietetics. So it is an exclusive concept mentioned only in Ayurveda than other medical sciences. You know, the main objective of Patyakalpana is to highlight the role of diet in maintaining health as well as treating various ailments due to the imbalance of dosha, dhatu, mala, agni in an individual. You know the lakshana of swastha, that is samadoshaha, samagnischa, samadhatu, malakriya. All those factors should be in an equilibrium, should be functioning in an equilibrium in a healthy person. So those factors are maintained by optimum, that is healthy food, good food. So you should know that the food is having much role in maintaining our health. And Sharira Bala. That is, Bala means Sharira Bala, it can be considered as our immune system or immunity. That is Vyadik Shamatvam. In order to fight against infections, etc., we should consume wholesome food. That is, otherwise, it will completely destroy the integrity of our body. Just like that, if we are facing a threat from our, that is our nation, suppose if is facing threat from our neighboring countries, and we are sending all our soldiers to the borders, then suppose a terrorist attack, that is the law and order issue arises inside the country, then there will be in loss of integrity in our nations, and so nation state, and all the conditions will be deranged. So like that, if our body is if we are facing some infections like that, so our immune system, helper T cells is there, many lymphocytes, antibodies, all those things will be ready to fight against that infection. But at that time, when we are consuming an unwholesome food, that is junk food, so many of our system, that is the will be deranged by consuming this food, and the full immune system will be susceptible to the invasions from outside, microbes, anything like that. So we should maintain a wholesome food habit in order to keep our sharira bala at optimum pace. And bala adhishtanam arogyam arogyartam kriyakramaha. So arogya is depending on our sharira bala, and we have to do the kriya kramas depending on the bala of an individual. If the sharira bala of a person is avara, and that is inferior, then we can't or he can't tolerate the treatment modalities that we are imposing on him. So we can't do any shodhana procedures, and we can't use any tikshna aushadas on him. So we have to maintain our sharira bala, and in order to maintain that, patyahara is having a good role. So we are dealing with, now we are going to deal with the patya kalpana in detail. So patya kalpana comprises of the ways of preparation, that is how we are processing the food materials in order to maintain the channels, that is Pada means srotas or channels, healthy. You know, our body is comprised of many srotasas, Yogavahi srotas, etc. So now let's look into the present scenario. You know, we are in consuming many unhealthy food, and our food habits are not so good. We are consuming junk foods, and many of the lifestyle disorders are arising due to our unhealthy food habit. So you know, according to Ayurveda, we have to maintain our acne at optimum. And Roga Sarve Abhi Mande Aknau. So every disease is arising due to the imbalance of acne, due to Mandha acne. So acne is the sole cause for swasthya and vyadhyavastha, and impairment of acne will leads to various disorders. So this is the importance of the present scenario, and why we have to keep our acne at optimum conditions by consuming wholesome food. Now, role of Patya Kalpana, that is, we have already discussed, that is, Patya Kalpana should be advised as a diet plan. You know, while we are going to a modern hospital nowadays, we have to meet an appointment. We will be given an appointment to meet a dietitian. Suppose if we are having any diabetes or hypertension, then this dietitian will give us a chart of what should be taken by what type of food we should take, what should be the timing. All those details will be given. But then before centuries ago, our acharyas have such a view, that is they are considering food as a important factor to maintain the health of our uh, health of the patients. So it is a Patya Kalpana can be advised as a diet plan in healthy individuals, for what, in order to let them stay fit, and to the patients, for what, in order to keep their throats healthy. That is the role of Patya Kalpana. And Patya Kalpana should be incorporated in our daily diet regime also, in order to achieve the basic aims of Ayurveda, that is Swastasya Swasthya Rakshanam Aturasya Vyadi Parimokshachedi Panda, described by Chakrapani, that is, in order to maintain the health of a healthy person and to treat the disease. So now let's consider the etymology of this Patya or Patyam. Patyam Padho Anapedam Yadyacha Uktam Manasaha Priyam. The root word for Patya is Padha, as I already told you, that is Srotas. Our body is comprised of Srotas, various channels, and which these channels should be healthy, and whatever which thing that is not causing any harm to these channels is can be considered as Patyam. So Anapedam means not causing any harm to the human body. So thus this is the etymology that we can consider, that is Patyam Padho Anapedam Yadyachoktam Manasaha Priyam. And according to Chakrapani defined Patya as Manaha Sharira Anupakadi Patyam. So, any food which is not harmful for body channels, and on the contrary, that is which is wholesome, soothing for body, can be labeled as Patya. So, now let's consider the importance of food. You know, Ahara, Nidra, Brahmacharyam, they are considered as the Traya Upastambhas, and also Kashyapacharya explained Ahara as Mahabhaishajya, that is, without even without any medicine we can survive. But if we are not given any food, we can't survive. Hence, it is called as Mahabhaishajya, which is responsible for the sthiti of the Sarva Bhutas. Every living being is depending on this food. So, Atascha Sarva Bhutanam Aharaha Sthiti Karanam. Tasmat, so that we have to do, that is Tasmat Bishakbiraharo Mahabhaishajyam Uchyade, that is why the physicians called this food as Mahabhaishajya according to Kashyapa Samhita. Again, he described that all these factors, that is, tushti, pushti, dhritir, buddhir, ulsaha, paurusham, bhalam, sauswaryam, ojas, tejascha, jivitam, pratibha, prabha, all these factors will be arising out of wholesome food. Ahara deva jayante, eva madhya gunaha nranam. Hence, we have to consume wholesome food at a suitable time period at regular intervals, that is, which is composed of shadrasas. Tada atmavan hitamitam kale bunjida shadrasam. So, if we consider, if we review through our Samhitas, Charaka has used Pathya as a synonym for the Chirikilsa, synonymous. And Acharya Sharangadara explained some Pathya Kalpanas in the Kvadha Kalpana Adhyaya. He considered it as the Upakalpanas of Kvadha Kalpana, where boiling is done, boiling technique is done. And he considered Manda, Peya, Vilepi, Yavagu, etc. there. And these are all preparations that we have to discuss in detail later. Then properties of this kritana differ from each other depending upon the method of preparation, even if material used is the same. So manda, peya, vilepi, yavagu, the rice is using, but they are having different properties because the method of preparation or the ratio of water we are used is different. So the guna changes, the changes in the properties occur. And in case of manda peya, as I already told you, that is the ratio of water is different and the amount of liquid and solid content is also different there. And we can, if we go through the Sushruta Samhita and Charaka Samhita also, we can see all these Kritana Vargas, references of these Kritana Vargas there. And this method of preparation determine the qualities like heaviness or lightness of food for digestion. Then, if all Kridana Varga is used judiciously along with the Patyahara, it will help to treat and nourish patient effectively. Now, if we go through the modern concept of diet, they consider the major nutrients are, that is, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. The nature of food is analyzed by the predominance of these three entities, whether it is carbohydrate predominant or fat predominant or proteinaceous food. And many micronutrients they consider, that is, vitamins, minerals, etc. But Ayurveda think in a different way. That is, Ayurveda weighs the properties of food on its individual basis. That is, depending upon the nature of the food. Prakritika guna is mentioned for every food items, and the also depends on the nature of the digestive capability of the patient who is going to consume that food. Acne differs from person to person, so this nutritious factors also vary accordingly. So a person who is having good acne, he will assimilate the good qualities of a food in a natural way, but who is having manda acne, the metabolism will be much more in a slow pace, and that much assimilation will not occur to that person. So that is the way in which Ayurveda view the diet, the properties of food. So as I already told you, the acne will vary. This obviously changes from person to person. So now let's go to the preparations, the kalpanas explained under the Patya Kalpana heading. First of all, we can consider the preparations of rice where tandula means rice, is using. So these are the major preparations that we are processing using rice, that is manda, peya, yavagu, vilepi, and anna. So we have to study the shloka, method of preparation, and its properties, and the properties of each and every preparation. uh, Short notes may be asked in your university exam, or sometimes an essay may be expected. So this is an important portion. You have to study well each and every shlokas and properties. Now let's go through the first kalpana, that is manda kalpana. Manda means पेयायाः उपरितनो भागो मण्डः. It is considered as a supernatant liquid portion of rice gruel. Rice gruel means kanji, and that the watery portion is considered to be manda. And sikter virahito mandaha. So should I explain like that? That is while we are cooking rice with water, and the liquid portion without the cooked rice is considered as manda. So now let's go through the method of preparation. What is the ratio of rice? What is the ratio of water? You have to thoroughly study that. That is, the rice, one part of rice is boiling with 14 parts of water, and the solid cooked rice has been taken out, and the only supernatant liquid part, it is called as manda, and it is deepana and pachana, that is carminative and digestive. This is the method of preparation explained in Sharngadhara Samhita, that is Neere Chadurdasha Gune Siddho Mandastu Asiktagaha, without the cooked rice particles. Shundi Saindava Samyuktaha, we can add either salt or Shundi Churna in order to enhance the Deepana Pachana property. Shundi Saindava Samyuktaha Pachano Deepanaha Smritaha. If we go through the properties of manda described according to Charakacharya, that is mandastu deepayatyagnim vatam chapya anulomayet mritu karodi srotamsi swedam sanjanayatyabi lenkitanam viriktanam jirne snehecha trishyataam deepanatvad lagutvacha mandaha syada pranadharanaha. Suppose if a patient is subjected to Lankana procedures, for example in Jwara Chikitsa we can consider first treatment protocol explained is Lankana. So there we can after Samyak Lakshana of Lankana is obtained, we can give that patient manda. So there we can see all these lakshanas, that is mandastu deepayatyagnim vatam chapya anulome. The Agni Mandya will be much lessened, or the Agni will be stimulated by manda. Mandastu deepayatyagnim vadam chapyanalome. The normal functions of vata will be established, and mritu karodi srotamsi. Srotas will be much more functioning better, and swedam sanjanayityavi. The sweda will occur, sudation will occur. All these lakshanas we can see when we are subjecting a person to Langana while he is having some sort of jwara, rise in temperature, and then after Samyak Lakshana, Langita Lakshana is there, if we are giving this manda to him, these lakshanas we can see. That is Lankitanam, Viriktanam, Jirne, Snehecha Trishyataam. We can give manda to the person who has undergone Virajana Karma, or who has been given Sneha. And when Sneha Jirna Lakshana is obtained, we can give manda. So manda is Deepanatvad Lagutvacha Mandaha Syada Pranadharanaha. So this is very, very much important shloka regarding manda. So we have discussed all these properties. This lagutvad, deepanatvad, lagutvad, pachana, vatanulomaga, all these functions we have discussed. Now let's consider the three variants of manda. Manda, the previously explained manda is also known as Shuddha mandam, and adding that some textbooks is given types of manda as 3. So here we are explaining this as 3 variants: Laja manda, Vatya manda, Ashtaguna manda. Laja means puffed rice. Vatya means that is brishta. Brishta dhanya is using fried rice. Okay. Ashtaguna manda is composed of around 8 ingredients, and it is comprising 8 gunas. That is why it is known as Ashtaguna manda. So let's discuss one by one in detail. Laja manda. Laja means Laja Chardiknanam. It is the Agri Aushadha for Chardi, and Laja is puffed rice. So the preparation of manda is same. The ratio is 1:14. We had to take 1 part of Laja and 14 parts of water and cooked well, and the liquid portion is collected, that is Laja Manda. So it is Deepana, Pajana and Grahi and useful in the treatment of Jwara, Atisara, etc. And it is the most Lagu Kalpana among Patya Kalpana, that you have to note, Laja Manda. Okay. So this is the method of preparation explained. Lajerva tandulehi brishter. We can use either laja or we can use tandula, brishta tandula, that is a fried tandula. And Laja Manda Prakirtida. It is the properties as like this. Shleshma Pittaharo Grahi. It is Kapha Pittahara Grahi Pipasa Jorajit Madaha. So these are the properties explained, additional properties explained according to Charakacharya. That is Laja Mando Agni Janano Daha Murcha Nivaranaha Mandagni Vishamakninam Balas Tavira Yoshitam Descha Sukumaranam Laja Manda Susamskrita. We can give Laja Manda to Sugumara Prakriti. Sugumara Prakriti includes, that is, Balas, Tavira and Yoshit. Bala children, old age persons and ladies. We can give all these three group of persons. Laja Manda can be given to this Sukumara Prakriti. So it will enhance the Agni, it will reduce Daha and Morsha, and it is suitable for Mandagni and Vishamagni individuals also. Now let's consider the second variant, that is Vatya Manda. As I already told you, that is the fried or roasted and powdered Goduma or Yava is used. And the ratio is same, 1:14. The properties are Lagu, Grahi, Shula, Anaha, Kandhya, Rakta Prasadaga, etc. So this is the reference according to Shargadharacharya. Sukandidehi, we have to brock that. Sukandidehi stada brishdehi. We have to roast that. Brishdehi. Vatyamando yaver bhavedi. Here yava is only mentioned, but in the commentary of Shargadhara, there Goduma is also mentioned. Kafapittaharaha Kandhyo Rektapitta Prasadanaha. So these are the properties of Vatyamanda. Now let's consider Ashtagunamanda. Ashtagunamanda, I told you, it contains 8 ingredients and it possesses 8 gunas. The ingredients are Dhanyaga, Shunti, Maricha Pipali, that is Trikadu, then Saindava, Mudga, Tandula means rice, Bharjita Hingu in Taila. Here Hingu Bharjana is done in Taila, not in Grida. And it is the properties are Deepana, Pajana, Tradoshakna, etc. So this is the reference, that is Dhanya Trikadu Sindhuta Mudga Tandula Yojitaha Brishtascha Hingu Tailabhyam Samando Ashtagunaha Smritaha. These are the 8 ingredients. Taila Barjita Hingu is taken as a single drug. Then along with that the 7 drugs, Dhanya, Trikadu, Sindhuta, Saindava, that is, and then Mudga and Tandula, 7 ingredients plus Taila Barjita Hingu, 8 ingredients. Now if we consider the properties, Deepanaha Pranado Vasti Shodhano Raktavardhanaha Jodajit Sarvadoshakno Mando Ashtaguna Smrita. If we count that, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 properties is there. But the Sarva Doshagna is considered as, commentary is given like that. Sarva Doshagna is Vata Doshagnam, Pitta Doshagnam and Kapha Doshagnam. Like that, the 8 gunas are given. Separately, the 8 dosha, the 3 dosha karmas are taken and given as the name as Ashtaguna Manda. So this is all about the Manda. Now let's consider the next dietary preparation, that is Peya. Peya means the method of preparation is we have to take the same ratio, that is the 1 part of rice is boiled with the 14 parts of water. Here we are taking the both solid and liquid part also. So in Manda we are avoiding that solid cooked rice portion. Here we are including that. So the rice is cooked in the set proportion of water, and then maximum watery content of the prepared formulation is collected with few grains of cooked rice. So here a liquid portion is much more and the solid portion is less. So this is known as Peya, rice gruel. Peya Sikta Samanyuda, that is Sikta means cooked rice portion. So Peya Sikta Samanyuda according to Sushruta. Then Sharangatharacharya explains Dravadhika Solpasikta Chadurdasha Gune Jale Siddha Peya Buderneya Grahini Dhatu Pushtita. The properties are Laghu Pajana Vatanulomaga Dhatu Pushtigara, and it is indicated in Jwara Adhisara conditions. These are the properties described according to Charakacharya. Kshutrishna Glani Daurbalya Kukshiroga Jarapaha. Kukshiroga. So, if we are having any GIT problems, we can take Peya. Sweda Agni Janani Peya Vata Varcho Anulomani. So this is the variant of Peya, that is as we considered in Manda, Laja Manda, like that here Laja Peya. Laja, we are using Laja one part of Laja and 14 part of water and cooked well. And Laja Peya Shramaknitu Kshama Kandasya Dehinaha Trishna Atisara Shamana Dhatu Samya Kara Shiva. So this is the reference according to Charakacharya. Now, if we look through the references of Peya in our Samhitas, we can see in Adhisara Chikitsa, Amatisara, Ativisha Shundi Dhadima Siddha Peya is mentioned, and in Jirna Adhisara, Haritaki Billu Siddha Peya. In Shwasakasa, Pippali Ajamoda Billu Siddha Peya is mentioned. In Kafodara, Shundi Marija Pippali Yavakshara Samskrita Peya. And in Jwara Trishna, according to Ashtanga Sangraha Chikitsa Sthana, Shundi Dhanyaga Siddha Peya. So these are the references of Peya we can see in our classics. So this is all about today's topic. In this topic we have discussed, in this video we have discussed what you meant by Patya Kalpana, and the importance of food we have discussed. Then we have considered the preparations using Tandula. First one we have considered Manda Kalpana, then the three variants we have mentioned. Then we have discussed the next variety, that is Peya, and the variant Laja Peya and the properties of Peya. All those things we have discussed. In coming videos we will be discussing the next topics like a Yavagu, Odana, that is Bhakta, etc. So if you have any doubts regarding this topic, you can ask in the comment section or in the Google Classroom. Thank you for your patient listening.